Dorit Kemsley reveals advice Rinna gave her for Rhovh Season 14. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills viewers have seen a whole new side of Dorit Kemsley on Season 14. Andy Cohen warned Rhovh fans that Dorit was activated this season, and he was not wrong at all. Dorit came in hot, especially as she stood her ground with Kyle Richards. It turns out that Dorit got some advice from her pal Rinna on navigating this season. The Fox Force 5 may be long gone, but Dorit and Lisa's friendship is still going strong. During a recent appearance on Bravo's Heartbreak podcast, hosted by Alex Baskin, Dorit spoke about her decision to return for Season 14, including how she almost didn't. Dorit Kemsley reveals advice Rinna gave her for Rhovh Season 14. On the Heartbreak podcast, Dorit admitted she was initially on the fence about doing Season 14 after some things went down in Season 13. Lisa was one of the few people Dorit confided in about being undecided about continuing with the show. She said to me, "Dorit, if you're going to do it, then do it. No holds bar guns a-blazing, you go in, and you do it. Be yourself. Don't hold back." And that stuck with me, Dorit expressed. Obviously, Dorit decided to return, and it seems like she took Lisa's words to heart. This new Dorit has the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills viewers buzzing after watching each episode, and the season has just begun. What made Dorit return for Season 14 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Lisa wasn't the only one who impacted Dorit's decision about the show. When she was in flux, her now estranged husband, Paul P.K. Kemsley, basically told her she had to return. PK's words helped Dorit decide she was done with Rhovh. Dorit told him she wouldn't return for another season, but her decision didn't last long. "I had thought I felt comfortable about that decision, but when I had that period of time, it enabled me without any pressure to just think about it, and it felt like I was leaving too soon. That I had unfinished business," she stated, adding, "I had too much that I needed to say. I didn't leave the impression that I wanted to leave." Dorit has certainly made Season 14 very entertaining to watch with her new attitude, no matter her reason for sticking around. As Monsters and Critics reported, Dorit and the Beverly Hills ladies are taking a break soon. However, the break doesn't begin until Dorit has some harsh words for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills alum Camille Grammer-Meyer. The sun was barely peeking over the Los Angeles skyline as Dorit Kemsley settled into her chair in her glam room, the familiar hum of hairdryers and chatter filling the space. Season 14 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was about to begin filming, and Dorit's nerves fluttered as she scrolled through her phone, sipping a perfectly frothed oat milk cappuccino. The upcoming season promised fresh dynamics, unresolved tensions, and, of course, plenty of opulence. Her phone buzzed, interrupting her thoughts. It was a text from Rinna. "Lisa, call me when you can. Got some advice for you, babe." Dorit raised an eyebrow. Since Lisa's departure from the show, the two had stayed in touch, but their conversations were usually light and centered on fashion or their families. This, however, felt different. Intrigued, she excused herself from the glam squad and stepped into her walk-in closet for privacy, dialing Lisa's number. "Dorit, darling." Lisa's unmistakable raspy voice came through the line, dripping with enthusiasm. "How are you feeling about Season 14? "Excited, nervous, all the usual emotions," Dorit admitted, pacing between rows of neatly arranged designer heels. "But I can handle it. Why? What's on your mind?" Lisa's laugh was warm but knowing. "Oh, honey, I've been in this game long enough to know that handling it isn't enough. Thriving in it is the goal. And trust me, there are a few things you need to keep in mind this season." Dorit sank onto a plush ottoman, intrigued. Lisa may have been polarizing during her time on RHOBH, but there was no denying her knack for staying relevant and driving storylines. "I'm all ears," Dorit said, crossing her legs. Lisa's tone turned conspiratorial. "First things first, you need to find your through line. A narrative that connects you to everything going on. Whether it's your business, your family, or a feud, make sure you're at the center of something big. And don't be afraid to lean into it, even if it feels messy." Dorit nodded, mentally filing that away. "So be strategic but authentic." "Exactly," Lisa confirmed. "The audience loves vulnerability, but they also love a little glam chaos. Speaking of, don't let anyone dull your sparkle this season. If they come for you, you better give it back tenfold. Remember, a diamond shines brightest under pressure." Dorit smirked at Lisa's metaphor. "I'll keep my diamond polished, don't worry. What else?" Lisa hesitated for a moment, then her voice softened. "Dorit, I've seen how hard it's been for you since the robbery. I know you've tried to move forward, but don't shy away from showing how that's still impacting you. People connect with resilience, and your journey could inspire others. Plus, it's a part of your story now." Dorit's throat tightened. She hadn't expected Lisa to bring up such a painful topic, but she knew her friend was right. She had shielded parts of her struggle from the cameras, unsure if she wanted to relive the trauma on screen. "I'll think about it," she said softly. Lisa's energy shifted, sensing Dorit's vulnerability. "You're stronger than you think, Dorit. And that strength will resonate. Just don't let anyone weaponize your pain against you. Keep your inner circle tight." Dorit's thoughts turned to the cast. There were whispers of new faces joining the group, and she wondered how the dynamics would shift. "Speaking of inner circles," Lisa said, as if reading her mind, "watch out for the new girls. They'll either want to be your best friend or your biggest rival. Either way, keep your cards close to your chest. Let them reveal themselves first." Dorit's lips curled into a sly smile. "I'll play it cool." Lisa's laugh was sharp. "Good. And one last thing, babe, fashion. You've always nailed it, but this season, take it to another level. Think couture moments, statement pieces, and themes. Let your wardrobe be a storyline in itself. If all else fails, at least you'll have the best looks." Lisa Rinna, always the fashion queen, Dorit teased, but she knew her friend had a point. "Dorit Kemsley, the future fashion icon," Lisa corrected with a laugh. "You've got this, darling. Make me proud." After they hung up, Dorit stared at her reflection in the mirror. Lisa's advice replayed in her mind like a mantra. Vulnerability, strategy, sparkle, resilience, fashion. These weren't just tips. They were a blueprint for navigating the unpredictable world of RHOBH. The first day of filming arrived, and Dorit stepped out of her car, draped in a custom Balmain jumpsuit paired with towering Louboutin heels. The cameras were already rolling, capturing every detail of her arrival. She could feel the weight of the diamond in her opening credits and the responsibility that came with it. Inside, the cast was gathered for their first group event, a chick brunch at a Beverly Hills estate. Dorit scanned the room, taking in the familiar faces and sizing up the newcomers. Her gaze lingered on one of the new women, a statuesque blonde with piercing blue eyes who seemed to command attention effortlessly. "Dorit," Kyle Richards' voice broke her focus as she pulled her into a warm hug. "How are you, babe?" "Ready for whatever this season throws at me," Dorit replied with a smile, her confidence bolstered by Lisa's words. As the brunch unfolded, Dorit found herself at the center of several conversations. One moment, she was bonding with Kyle over family updates. The next, she was navigating a pointed question from the new blonde, who introduced herself as Astrid, about the aftermath of the robbery. It must have been terrifying, Astrid said, her tone dripping with curiosity. How did you manage to keep your life together? Dorit hesitated, feeling the eyes of the group on her. Lissa's voice echoed in her mind. Your journey could inspire others. It was one of the hardest things I've ever been through, Dorit said, her voice steady but tinged with emotion. But I've learned that strength comes from the most unexpected places. My family, my friends. They've been my rock. The room fell silent for a moment before Erica Girardi chimed in, her tone uncharacteristically supportive. You're stronger than most people I know, Dorit. Astrid's expression softened, and Dorit could sense a shift. Perhaps this newcomer wasn't an enemy after all. By the end of the day, Dorit felt a renewed sense of purpose. She had taken Lisa's advice to heart and began crafting her narrative for the season. Vulnerability would be her strength, and fashion her armor. As she stepped into her car and the cameras faded away, she couldn't help but smile.